Hey, it's Mike with Orlando Live. Thank you for watching. We are here at City Arts Factory, as you can tell, Thursday, where the feature is art. So tell us about your medium, if you will. Do you have a specific thing that you say that you do specifically?
Well, it's all acrylic on wood.
Okay.
I tend to focus on more fantasy elements, animals, people, nature, kind of a commentary on that stuff. Yep.
Is that because you have a passion for those things, or just you find that?
I have a passion for those things.
That's
absolutely.
Cool. Yeah.
I build all my paintings in Photoshop first.
Oh, wow.
And then I paint them. So they're almost like Photoshop collages that are then translated with paint. Yep.
So how long have you been working in this medium, or this style?
These pieces were originally for a solo show I had in New York City. So these are the pieces that came back. And this is a series, so I've been working specifically in this style for a couple years leading up to the show.
So you're well acquainted with what you're trying to produce.
I like to try different styles, though.
Yeah,
definitely.
Get outside your comfort zone a little bit.
Yes, you have to get outside your comfort zone. You have to keep growing as an artist. You don't want to get boring. You don't want to get bored.
Yeah.
You don't want to start copying yourself. So.
Ooh,
absolutely.
That's hard. I understand that. And now you're a fine artist, and what else? You do digital art as well.
I do digital art as well, yes, because I'm an experimental artist. So I cannot stay still just doing one type of art. I have to experiment, evolve all constantly. So the next step with this digital media that developed recently, I discovered that was another means of creating artwork.
Right.
Okay, so what I do, I scan those images, those paintings that I've done, the artworks, collages, etc., and I transfer them to the computer, and then I enhance them through Photoshop and other means to create a different type of artwork.
So there's a process to it.
It's a process to it, definitely. It's a continuation of what I used to do in a traditional fine art.
How long have you been working in that medium, or doing art in general?
A lifetime.
Lifetime.
Since I can remember, since I was a toddler doing artwork. I used to paint the floors of my house and the walls, and my mother used to scream the daylights out of it. But that's how I got started.
Is there a journey that you like to take people on? What is the purpose, or the mission behind your artwork?
The mission behind my artwork is longevity, let's say. Something I would like to leave behind, for my relatives or other people that can appreciate art, that could carry on after I'm gone from this world.
Yeah.
It's something that my interest in genealogy, it's in my artwork, and the thoughts about it is included in my artwork. So I just would love to leave something behind that someone else could appreciate, hopefully will appreciate.
Absolutely. But also you sparked the conversation. I think that was really interesting that you said, inviting the intellect and subconscious with the, imaginative kind of imagery. And I think that's really cool. You can tell with all the artwork, it's not anything very concrete. It melds, and it can be interpreted. I think that's always
that's the whole thing, the interpretation. I like the viewer to interpret my artwork. It's not just what my concept is all about, my thinking, but what do you as a viewer see or find in my images? Is it a Rorschach's test? Is it something psychological that sparks your mind for it, and you discover certain things? The same way I discover in the process certain things, I would like the viewer to discover likewise.
So it's like an artistic process both ways.
That connectivity, it's very important.
I love it. Would you call yourself a collage artist?
Well, I would, except that I recently found out that not all of my stuff is collage art. Apparently the dimensional stuff is more of a montage because it's dimensional. So
it's a completely different thing?
Yeah.
What classifies a montage from a...
The 3-dimension. So a collage is all flat, then a montage is something that has depth and dimension to it.
So I guess, is one easier than the other?
Oh yeah, the flat stuff is definitely easier.
Do you usually have themes when you make your art, or is it more just patterns you like to come together?
Theme, but the theme is something kind of abstract. It's not usually something that I can it's more like a feeling. Because what I do is I kind of as I'm sorting through images, I'll pile together things that to me have a similar mood. And usually color and stuff goes along with that. And so then I develop it from small piles based on colors and moods.
Okay, so it's not like, oh, I want to do apples, and I'll find all the apples in all these magazines.
No.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
More of a like cerebral
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's true art when it's not anything you can really like wrap your head around. It just kind of happens. It comes into.
Yeah. Well, I primarily work on recycled objects, which is usually windows, but also like old cabinet doors.
Oh.
Because like,
That's so crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's like a recycling thing. Like I like giving new life to them, so
Yeah.
that's just another part of what I do.
So you're keeping it green. You're being artistic, and she's keeping Orlando awesome. And we're gonna talk about naked bodies today.
Okay.
Which is cool, but in an artistic form, so it's more PG-13.
For sure.
Yeah. So what do we have in this room today? Holly.
This room consists of I don't want to say juried show, but they were selected works. People entered. We selected works just for this show. I think there's 22 pieces, and we're also in this room going to have a figure drawing workshop.
Wow.
That's going to happen starting next week for 4 weeks.
Okay.
So.
And what's the name of the show or the workshop, should I say?
The workshop, it's just
The
a figure
classic-
drawing,
classic
classic
figure.
figure.
The classic figure, which I think is a great tagline.
I mean, there's a lot of interpretations of the human figure. You might have a Picasso abstracting it and deconstructing the figure, but we just wanted to focus on people that brought out the figure in its purest form, basically.
What is, I guess, your interpretation? Do you like to do more realistic things or more surrealistic?
I like to do. My interpretation is really about the movement. So I like to show movement in my work. So when I'm doing figures, it's all about a statement or movement. It's really not about the details.
Okay. So it's about like telling
On the other hand-
telling a story. You might be polar opposites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to play with the surrealism, kind of playing with, I don't know, I guess a concept that I play with is the fact that we're all kind of born of our environment. So kind of tying the background into the figure and then having things kind of bounce back and forth, not really being able to tell where the figure ends and where the environment begins. So
The circle of life. Ooh, cycle.
exactly,
Very
very deep.
I love it. I love it. It's
So you can
interpretive.
feel me.
Wow. You just witnessed her taking a picture of me while on camera, which has never been done before.
I don't think so.
And that moment will never come again.
I don't think so.
So can you tell us a little bit about your process, your artwork?
Sure. Well, like you said, the simplicity. I'm really into the like mid-century modern and the minimalism and Bauhaus idea of just boiling things down until there's nothing left to take away, and then you're done, right?
That's it, yeah.
So, like with this, I like to focus on the shadows and then just let the highlights be negative space, and just really try to push the three-dimensionality of what you can accomplish on a two-dimensional surface.
Absolutely. And that's the same thing that I was thinking as soon as I saw it at first glance. Before I was talking, I was like, is this three-dimensional? Is it two-dimensional? Because it's just on its matted background, but it gives depth because the circles and, you know, there's the roots. And I love the whole natural feel. It felt almost like a wood carving, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you start with a theme and then you work kind of from there, or do you?
Well,
you start from
I'm definitely developing a theme. Before it was a lot of, okay, let's see what we can do with this medium. How can we shape it? And now that I've got a feel for how it works and how our relationship is together, now I can start exploring concepts. So this piece behind you is the newest out of all of them.
Yeah, I want them to see all the work, so let's kind of move down. Were you saying this is the newest one?
Yeah, out of everything. That was the most recent thing I've done. And there's two copies of this. So, because I did 2 layers of paper, and its brother is actually going to be on a show in Germany.
I just thought about that. I mean, it's like a 2-in-1 every time. When you're cutting, you can do multiple. It's
Sure.
like it's sustainable.
Yes.
And I like that.
And sometimes, like with the one behind you, you can actually have 2 versions. So there's another version out there where she's the negative space.
So it's like the black on white.
Right, exactly. It doesn't always work. Like this one, it didn't quite work.
What do you think for you? I mean, I guess for your career, but also as a general Orlando, what do you think the art scene is going to turn into?
Well, if you had asked me a couple of years ago, I think I would have had not been sure, but Orlando's really impressed me. I mean, we have stuff like Snap coming up. You guys are around now, and like 10 years ago, it would have been right. But if you're in a location like New York where there's so much competition, like you couldn't just rent a space like this in the middle of downtown and have a show like this. So there's that opportunity. So we're at this really interesting time where stuff is about to happen, but it's still at that point where just about anybody can grab onto it. It's like when the internet first started and
You're
that
like,
big,
yeah.
it's like the .com boom.
The .com boom,
Yeah.
but it's in Orlando.
Right.
Oh, look at my portrait. Can you see that? That's awesome. That's old school right there. You can't get that anywhere ever again.
Polaroid.
Polaroid, original. But it's been a great day here at the City Arts Factory inside of Third Thursday. We've seen all the artists. Please come and support all the local artists. As we always say, keep Orlando awesome, and they are keeping Orlando awesome. But until next time, yeah, I'm going to say it. Keep Orlando awesome. Live.